Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. The last video we did was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's forever in YouTube time. So I got dressed. Sophia asked where we were going. She was really confused, like, but you can't go anywhere, so why are you dressed? We got dressed for you guys.
We're gonna shoot a video for you guys.
So we wanted to do something. I guess we've done like bits and pieces in videos, but we haven't done like a dedicated video of our story, what we wish we would have known before we left, and stuff like that. So we're kind of gonna answer the 5 top questions that we get, and hopefully you guys learn something new about us or RVing.
Thanks for commenting and kind of consistently watching our videos. If you're new here, like and subscribe, click the notification bell if you want to see when we post new videos. Let's get into it.
Okay, question number 1 is our RV story. Like, what even prompted us to do this? Do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak for me, and I guess like I can touch on what we discussed to kind of have us go. But it was pretty random at first. I was looking for WeatherTech floor mats for my F-150 on YouTube and seeing like were they worth it versus other brands for the price, and like randomly went to Keep Your Daydream video, and Mark and Trish were going over their F-150, how they got ready to go full time. Now before that, I had never camped, never really cared about RVing, like didn't know anybody who RV'd besides like guys I worked with, but in my family, like no one. So I didn't have an interest, but we just kept watching the videos because I was like, that seems, to me, I was like, it seems pretty liberating. Like it seems like a very free lifestyle, and they were young. So like,
and they're from Arizona.
Yeah, being from Arizona and then being younger, I was like, that's cool, because where we live in Arizona, there's a lot of older people that RV, and it's like motorhomes, and they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I'm like, it's something that I never could imagine doing as a young couple with children.
So it was cool to see like just regular people doing it.
Yeah, younger people. For me,
like just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, we had just had Jeremiah. I forget when we went on our first camping trip. He was only like maybe 8 months old, 7 or 8 months old. and I was struggling a lot with like baby blues and postpartum depression and all of that stuff. And he was working a ton, like 60, 70 plus hours a week, and it was night shift, and he had worked night shift our entire marriage, and we've been married almost 11 years this year. And so think about like 10 years. I know there's so many people who understand or who work even more or who are gone even more. So from the military, he was gone all the time, like deployed, and he left a month after Sophia was born, and we were in another country, and so yeah. And
True,
then,
big shouts out to the military too,
Yes.
especially Air Force guys. I'm an Air Force guy, but I love all branches. I
Yeah.
got friends and family from all branches.
And so it's just, he's always been some type of shift worker. So after we went from 2 kids to 3 kids, Mama was losing it.
It was getting rough.
It was getting rough. And so we were kind of just like, something has got to change. And then that's kind of how we fell into KYD and this whole thing. And we were just like, well, what if? And we
Researching it a lot heavier.
Yeah, and we just kept asking, well, what if, and like, why not us? Like, why can't we? So the second question is why we chose RV life. But first of all, we wanted to see if we could even do it and if we enjoyed it. So we had never been tent camping before, ever, which we might do in a little bit if this quarantine lasts any longer. So we rented an RV. It was, what, Thanksgiving?
Yeah, of all times, Thanksgiving. And we prepped our food. Well, Kathleen and her mom prepped the food.
Because there wasn't a stove. I had no idea how to work it. And we
didn't know
nothing.
how to do anything.
We didn't even hook up the sewer.
We didn't hook up sewer.
No.
We hooked up water.
That's it. And the electrical.
Yeah, an electrical. But I don't even think we had like a surge protector.
No, we didn't know anything.
Yeah, so it was a rental, and we didn't know anything about it. We just wanted to see if it would work.
Yeah.
And then we were super, like, newbie. Like, I don't know. It's kind of scary to think, like, on Thanksgiving, we chose to take our food, our family, because we had Kathleen's mom.
And I drove.
Meet us up there.
I don't drive it at all anymore.
And it turned out, like, great, though.
And that's how we knew. So basically, before we went RVing, we would all be in the same room all together, anywhere.
True.
Like we would just fall. I don't know what it is, but that weekend, right? It was just a Thanksgiving weekend. It
True.
was like I don't know, just happiness, like that I hadn't felt in a really long time since having Jeremiah, and so I was like hooked.
And it was so if you're familiar with Arizona, it's desert, but where we went was up north, so it was high desert.
Yeah.
In the morning it was freezing, and at night it was cold. But like the whole time, like I want to say it got in the 30s, but the whole time we still were having like a great time.
Yeah.
Being outside of the house.
Yes.
We went hiking one day. Just where we were at, it was just like liberating. The views were amazing, and then like it was just peaceful compared to where we lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Super peaceful.
Yeah. We were together, and that hadn't happened in a really long time. Like just hanging out, just us. So once we did that, we kind of really started researching it. Like, what can we do? What do we need to do with the house? Saving money.
And I'm gonna say, so for me personally, I was like, this is awesome, but I don't see how in any way we're gonna be able to financially do this, raising our 3 children, figuring out what I'm gonna do with our house, because our house at the time was only maybe 2 years old. Like we had only been in it for 2 years, so I'm like, okay, we just got a new house. What are we gonna even do with that, and like still be able to afford to live on the road? But I was intrigued. I'm like, okay, if this is meant for us, like we'll figure out a way.
Just things lined up, and we were able to do it for 7-8 months until
the route that we were going east to Florida.
Yeah.
But it was difficult to get anything as far as like.
Yeah, in our budget video, we talked about how hard it was to try to book Florida, and that's where we were trying to go. So we got a call. You got called back for an interview. And so we were like, I was like, I want to keep going. I don't want to stop. Like, we're not stopping. But, like we prayed about it, and we just, one thing, obviously led to another, and we came back here.
And it wasn't that fast. I'm going to tell you, it was for both of us, probably Kathleen a little less than me. I'm a by the numbers, like black and white type of guy. So I was like,
go with the flow.
I was like, we should head back.
Yeah.
The storms were getting pretty bad in between Texas and Florida. We couldn't get anything booked in between Texas and Florida. I'm like, there's just too much going on. We should go back. And Kathleen's like, we'll work it out. We'll figure out a way. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I want to keep going, but nothing is like falling in line. That's kind of how we live.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fall in line and there's too many stops, like too many no's, it's not for us.
Right.
So,
not saying like you shouldn't, that you shouldn't go for your dreams and stuff, but like when things start like just being extra difficult, like you kind of take it as a sign that you probably shouldn't be going that way.
That's kind of how we make decisions.
Yeah.
If you're different, that's fine, but like if it starts getting to be too many no's and they're like, because you can kind of feel it. It'll be more like, okay, these are more than just coincidences that I can't do this and that, and I can't book this and that. But that's a whole nother note.
Yeah.
But so we decided to come back, and the timing was impeccable.
It was amazing.
It was right before I got the interview. Everything went great. Got the job, and it was like right before this whole COVID-19 situation.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing, like right before, and we were even coming back, we were having mixed feelings, like we don't really want to end it, but if it's what we're supposed to do, we did it, and
so
it ended up working out.
That's kind of where we're at now with that. I keep getting questions like, are you guys back? What are you doing? But now, obviously, everyone's stationary somewhere.
True.
So we're just taking this time to just figure out what we want to do. I know we talked about switching rigs, so maybe something like that. And so we're just taking it day by day to kind of figure out what our next steps are.
Number 3 was that we get a lot was, what did we learn full-time in RVing? So our stint full-timing was a little under a year, and we kind of want to break it down in 2 segments. So the first segment is, what did we learn about RVing full-time? So we basically learned everything. I learned all the systems. I learned about propane. I learned about how to boondock, how to find a spot. I learned about how to, more Kathleen, but she learned how to schedule, how to book. We learned what were good rates for our budget.
What else?
How to find good areas, how to find good RV parks, because that's a whole thing you have to know. If you're cool with living in somewhat janky RV parks, that's cool for you. But with my family, we wanted to be comfortable, we wanted to be safe. So we learned how to find those things.
And we learned our travel style.
Definitely.
We learned how to make food last. We did
how to grocery shop.
We had a grocery shop.
That changed for us.
Yes.
We didn't have a pantry that was like a home pantry.
And we didn't waste a lot of things either.
No. And it worked out because we wouldn't buy, like before, in a house you buy extra because you're like, okay, we're going to have leftovers for this long. We ended up buying groceries were roughly once a week, maybe twice a week, but we wouldn't let stuff sit. We might have let stuff sit a couple times, but not often.
The only thing we bought in bulk once was diapers. And we just put it under in the basement thing.
Yeah, that came in handy. And water. We bought water by the gallon in bulk.
And my biggest piece of advice is what we learned and how to everyone's how to RV, how do you RV? You honestly won't know until you do it.
You have to figure out what you like. Some people in their mind they're like, I'm only gonna boondock and I'm only gonna do it free camping.
Yes.
And then you actually see how that is. Getting to your spot, if that spot's full, if that spot requires a permit, and then how much work goes into boondocking, how much preparation.
Or you might be the opposite, and our really good friends, family no matter what, they only boondock, and they are amazing at it. When we camped with them, we literally were they had everything we need. They're the best people in the world, and they're just so helpful, and we learned so much about boondocking from them. And they're awesome at it, but and we have a lot of videos where we talk about finding your balance. For us, it's a balance. We love both, So that's what we did. We did both.
If you're just starting, I wouldn't get in my head from watching videos that I'm only gonna stay in RV resorts or I'm only gonna boondock, because if you've never done it and you've only been a weekender, or maybe you've never done it at all like us, you're not gonna know until you do it. You may have a rig that's already set up that you bought and it's set up to do it off grid. You might not even like the work. Like it's an amount of work to boondock that is unparalleled, and staying in an RV park is a lot easier as far as work.
You just don't get the views.
You don't. Some you get the views, but you're gonna pay. So that's your trade-off, really. You're gonna pay a lot more money, but you're gonna have all the conveniences of a home, and it's gonna be free camping, but it's gonna be a lot more manual labor.
Second part of that question was what we learned about our family, or just like
I'd say us.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the kids, what they feel like they learned about themselves. I could just tell you what I observed from like a father's perspective. Before, my kids, they're suburban kids for the most part. They were not going outside. If we were in the backyard, we were in the backyard together. They all had bikes and scooters. No one was riding a bike. We were trying to get Sophia to learn how to ride her bike, but it was on the weekends. I was working a lot, and it was nights. So she would go to school in the day. I wouldn't see her until Sunday, really. That was the only day I saw her with my work schedule. So we would go after church, and I would take her to the park down the street. We would try to get her to learn how to ride a bike, but she didn't have confidence in it, and it wasn't enough repetition for her to catch on to it. So, like, for me, watching them grow, they love outdoors now. They'll go outside without you in a heartbeat.
Yes, and the first week on the road, Sophia learned
how to ride her bike.
Yeah.
She had... It was more like wanting to fit in with her friends, because all her friends were riding bikes already at her age. And she just was like, okay, I have a motivation and I have the time to do it. So it only took her like 3 days to learn how to ride her bike. And I didn't help her.
No, we were camping again with Family No Matter What.
Yeah, we didn't help her at all.
And with Todd and Amanda, and they were all the kids were riding bikes, and she wanted to ride with them.
She learned with their kids. If I can remember correctly, I want to say Jackson was helping her a lot how to ride. So thanks, Jackson. We appreciate it. And
now JJ can ride a bike without training wheels.
He learned his bike a lot
I don't know. It might be different for you, but just being outside and just we learned how to live with so much less stuff, and then less, like, you don't compare yourself to other people because you're not in a home, so you don't think you need like the newest of everything. And it's just simple, like just intentional, and it's simple, and it just puts everything into perspective when you get to see different places in the country, and then just teaching. So with homeschool, that was just something that I'll just never ever forget, and I'm so thankful for, because we got to learn like hands-on, like at an observatory when we were doing science, and like just stuff like that. I
think being able to see different type of landscapes that that Sophia was learning about.
And the kids are able to be kids. Like,
yeah, it was pretty awesome. For me, I feel like as a family, we learned what mattered to us,
and that we're way better together than we are apart.
And it changed a lot about us.
We're like a team.
My kids are super close. Of course, they're still kids. They argue, they bicker, but at the end of the day, like, they hang out, and when they hang out, it's not like they were before.
And a lot of people are like, don't you get tired of your spouse? Like, aren't you tired of them? You're around them all the time. And it was the best thing I think we could ever have done for our
I feel
marriage.
like it kind of rekindled, because we kind of started out of the gate. I joined the military, and I was gone. Ended up getting out of the military. I was still gone a lot because I was used to that pace of working.
Yeah.
And like anyone else that works overtime, you just want to make more and more. You have different goals. So being able to be back around each other all the time, especially after having 3 kids, and mom taking care of the kids sometimes, I'm watching the kids sometimes, and I'm trying to get sleep, she's trying to get sleep. You kind of skip over the romance, the dating your spouse, the having the deep conversations about what are your goals, what are you aspiring to do, like.
And people will be like, well, how do you ever get alone time? But like, seriously, we had the best conversations. just on travel days. The kids would fall asleep a lot of the times, and that's when we would just talk
Just driving,
and
yeah.
just driving. And the RV has doors, like
Yeah.
it works. It's okay.
There's plenty of alone time. There's plenty of time to date.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory. You learn systems very fast.
Yes.
Because you don't have a choice. You learn how early you're going to put the kids down to bed, and you're going to learn what times you guys like to get up and leave and travel and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you'll learn as you go. Of course, you're going to be fearful before you know, but you'll
Yeah.
never know until you go.
Until you go. Question number 4 is what we wish we knew. And this is kind of a hard question to answer because, like we said, you don't know a lot of things until you actually do it. So, like we talked about how we wish we would have known like what kind of RV we wanted, but there's nothing wrong with our travel trailer. Like it works.
No.
It's just little things like, we really want the kids to have a room, just little stuff like that. And like what else?
For me, I don't know. For us, I feel like we're not like real regretful people. Like we like everything that we learned, and like we're always wanting to learn. That's one thing that's like even attracted me to Kathleen when we first started dating all the way back in high school. Like we both had the same type of mindset as far as like not being like, okay, we know everything. We both always wanted to learn, and
you will learn something every single day.
We always research everything. We don't do anything without researching. So like you research, you learn as much as you can, but like
you kind of adjust.
Yeah, we're always ready for information, and everything we learned was great. And I mean, I'm glad we did it how we did it.
Me too. And just don't overthink it, because you think you need, like, you make this list of things that you think that you need, and it can get overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. We need this. We need all these things.
True.
But like, you will be amazed at all the things that you don't really need that you bought, and then you haven't seen it for like months.
I got a tip for that, to piggyback off of that. I would tell anyone who's just starting, go on YouTube, look at RV basics for newbies checklists. Get the reoccurring basics, and don't buy anything else.
Yeah.
Just keep the money you saved, and as you RV daily, go to the store and pick up what you realize that you could have got. Because it's going to keep you from wasting so much money on stuff that you're going to realize, okay, we never used that.
Yeah.
And we spent maybe a lot of money, maybe a little money on it. But you could kind of save yourself from spending any money on the wrong things.
Question number 5 is the meaning behind our name. If you follow us on Instagram, when we first started, I put like a little post about the meaning behind our name and why we chose it and all of that. But basically, we were trying to think of a YouTube name, and we kept like thinking of ones, and we were like, no, like everybody has that, or that sounds like I forget what of the it was like This Crazy Life or something was gonna be it. And then one night, I think we were coming home, we had just come home from Bible study maybe, and
Our Bible group.
Yeah, Bible group. And he just like came out of the blue with the name, and I was like, he said Faith Bound Travel, and I was like, okay. And so from the beginning, like every single thing has been just kind of like
Walking by faith.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I came up with the name. We were leaving Bible study, and I'm thinking like, after all the research and all the preparation and saving and just because we literally stopped spending money on like stuff that wasn't RV related and eating out, basically just going hard on putting money away a year before we left. And the whole time I don't know about her, but like I was kind of like, man, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I'm a number cruncher, so I'm like writing out budgets. And you have to understand, I know nothing about full timing besides what I researched, and it's really not gonna tell you much about how you like to do it. So I'm like, okay, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be all bound to how strong our faith is and what we're trying to do.
And then like even with the house, so first we put it up for sale, didn't sell, had it up for like almost 2 months. We put it up for rent, and it just kind of, we found renters, and so now we still have renters in the house, which is why we're at my mom's house. So it was just like every little thing, selling stuff, garage sales, just figuring out what we need to do with everything to get ready to leave. And
True.
so it all just kind of was...
It was all walking by faith.
Yeah.
It was a weird situation because like we were like ready to go. We were like,
Yeah.
we were rooted in what we wanted to do, but outside sources are like, you know, everyone has an input on what you should do with your life, how you should raise your family, and some of it wasn't great. I had a lot of great feedback as far as my family. Some friends had concerns, but I was like pretty much sold on it, what it would do for us, and that's kind of where we stuck to the name. It fit us.
Yeah.
It wasn't like reaching.
So, I don't know.
It just fit.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen like going forward, but for now it's faith-bound travel, and it's just been the most amazing journey ever. So thanks for watching this video. We hope you learned something that you can use, whether you're gonna be full-timing or planning to full-time or just RVing or whatever it is, or just curious about us.
Right. So if you guys want, you know, keep hitting the comments as questions pop up in your head if you're preparing to go. If you want to know anything about areas in Arizona, if you want to know anything
Yes.
about where we stayed in our videos.
Yeah, we still want to do that, exploring our backyard, but we just want to keep spaces open
True.
for people who need them.
For
so.
people who are actively
Yeah.
full-time, and we just don't feel right taking up a spot.
Yeah, as much as we want to go right now.
As a weekender, you
Yeah.
know, now, for someone who possibly could last minute book that spot and have at least 3 or 4 days
Yeah.
to have a safe haven off this crazy virus that's going
We're
on.
just waiting it out. We hope you guys are staying safe, and
True, you guys stay safe.
maybe when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do another giveaway.
I'm thinking the giveaway. I think it's going to be something pretty big.
Yeah.
I just don't know what yet.
So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Bye.